It's so great to hear of your progress. Congrats to the team on such hard work. It's amazing. So I'd like to next introduce Curt Naumann, CEO of Olitus. And I asked Curt, how do you pronounce the name of the company? He said, you say, Olitus. So welcome. We're really excited to have you, Curt. So they're planning to change the restaurant experience for many with their flagship product, iiShakers. These are salt and pepper shakers with a patented smart... They've got a patented smart illumination technology that provide automated on-demand spotlights that supplement a customer's available light for reading the menu. That's pretty cool. The check, and easily seeing the amount of salt and pepper being dispensed and where it is landing. So spotlight, you know how much you're shaking out, and you can actually read the menu. That's pretty cool. Welcome.
Thank you. The New York Times bestselling author and entrepreneur Mike Dooley writes, "The one thing all famous authors, world-class athletes, business tycoons, singers, actors, and celebrated achievers in any field have in common is that they all began their journeys when they were none of these things." Hello, everyone. My name is Curt Naumann, and I'm the founder of the Olitus company. Several years ago, I was in a small Italian restaurant in South Minneapolis. It was after 8 p.m. and they had dimmed the lights for added ambiance. As they were serving the meal, the hostess came around with the pepper grinder and she asked who would like some fresh ground pepper. So I raised my hand, and as she was grinding, I realized I could not see. It was too dark to see how much pepper was coming out or where it was going. At the end of the meal, when they brought the check, the same thing happened. I could not see. It was too dark to see the check, so I ended up grabbing for one of those small little tea lights, and that barely helped. And so as we were finishing up, I remember thinking, how many other people are going through this exact same problem? So when I got home that night, I did a quick Google search, and it turns out that men and women over the age of 40 require 50% more ambient light than a younger adult. And so I did another quick check, and it turns out there is a whopping 47% of the population over the age of 40. And the next thing that I wanted to know was how many full-service restaurants, or the ones that dim the lights, are out there potentially targeting this demographic. And another quick search turned up it's a whopping 225,000, or nearly 250,000 of full-service restaurants. And so I thought to myself, there's a lot of people sitting out in restaurants right now that just cannot see. And so with an opportunity in front of me and a need, I went ahead and invented a supplemental, on-demand, and convenient lighting system for use in full-service restaurants. Welcome to iiShakers. iiShakers are salt and pepper shakers with smart illumination technology. Let me show you how they work. When I pick the iiShaker up from the table, the sides begin to glow, adding a never-seen-before ambiance. The colors can be changed to over 16 million different colors to match the decor of the restaurant, and then they can be changed to match holidays, say red and green for Christmas. As I'm picking up the salt shaker or the pepper shaker, at the same time, bottom spotlights come on, so I can see the menu and the check, and then as I begin tipping, you'll see the bottom lights are turning off so I'm not blinding others in the restaurant, a common complaint with cell phone use. As I start tipping, then top lights turn on so I can see exactly where my salt and pepper is going and how much is being dispensed. Another feature of the iiShakers is the server alert system. I tap it twice, and it goes into a server alert mode to notify your server that you need some attention, whether it's a fresh drink. Tap it again, and it goes right back to normal operations. For those that are on a sodium-restricted diet, the iiShaker has a sodium alert system that will ultimately change from amber to red to notify of possible excess sodium usage. The system is fully automatic. There are no buttons, there are no switches. You just pick it up and it works. We've estimated that the cost of the iiShakers is about $3.75. That includes manufacturing, assembly, as well as the packaging of it. I find that estimate that we got was extremely conservative in that I've been to the dollar store and I've seen items with similar materials and similar electronics for just $1. And so with basic salt and pepper shakers, you know, they're less expensive. However, they don't add the value of the iiShakers' enhanced ambiance, the spotlighting systems, and 2 alert systems. And with version 2, the iiShakers will have a patented magnification system, so no more having to grab 4 reading glasses. And we're also going to add Bluetooth technology so the iiShakers can connect to both the restaurant's point of sale system as well as a diner's cell phone. The feedback that we've been getting on the iiShakers has been exceptional. I pitched the iiShakers at the Unconference in October, and during the question and answer session, a gentleman raised his hand and he said, "Are those for sale yet? Where can I get them?" And last summer, I was meeting one of our advisors for the very first time, and I took the salt and pepper shakers to demo at the restaurant. As soon as the demo was finishing up, the manager of the restaurant came over and he said, "Can I get a business card for the distributor of these? These things would be great on the table." And finally, I think the best feedback that I've get, and I hear it time and time again, after I've demoed the product, the person I demoed it to looks at me and they say, "Curt, you know those are going to get stolen off of the tables." And my response is, that is the kindest thing that you could ever say to me, thank you. And so, you know, while these stories are anecdotal, the next phase, the next goal is to actually do value testing in the restaurants. We're planning on working with eSpace to do the prototypes because it's going to be an iterative, it will be an iterative process. As far as marketing, our goals are targeting the food service design companies, manufacturers, as well as distributors. We're also planning on attending food service conferences and trade shows like the National Restaurant Association trade show that's coming up in May in Chicago. A little bit about our team. We've got a very small board of directors, and we also have some advisors. Each advisor and each director has over 20 years of experience in their field. So far that we have covered management, legal, finance and accounting, engineering, as well as computer science. And with regard to competition, there is no direct competitor to the iiShakers spotlights. Just, in my opinion, poor substitutes like burning candles or blinding cell phones. And with regard to the server systems, I have not seen any sodium detection systems sitting on restaurant tables. And while there are server alert systems, they're almost like those little pods, I have seen nothing that has been actually incorporated into existing items on the table. And with the iiShakers, this really is just the beginning. The way that the patent was written, it extends, far beyond just food services. We have applications for industries like medical and military, which have very deep pockets. And so at Olitus, the iiShakers are not just one-hit wonders. They are just the beginnings of our vision to enrich lives worldwide. And this is what I need from you. The next round of funding will be going towards our go-to-market plan to actually beta launch these in restaurants. We're looking for help with sales and operations. And finally, we're looking for restaurants in Central Oregon to partner with to actually place the tables place the shakers on the tables for testing. I'd like to thank EDCO for the opportunity to pitch tonight, and for you, my audience, for your attention. Thank you.
So we have some questions? Yes.
We all suffer from that, and it's a good idea. But on the patent side, where are you exactly?
I have 2 utility patents. Oh, thank you. The question was how many patents, or where am I with the patents? I've had 2 granted patents with issued, yes, 2 utility patents.
It works. Go ahead.
It's a great idea. I love it. How much training do you think will be involved to engage your wait staff when somebody sits down at a table? What do you foresee the format of that mean?
So how will you train the wait staff and how to use it? How much training will it require?
So very similar to iPhones. I don't know if anyone remembers when Microsoft Office first came out, there was like tons and tons of books. Now if you're going to look for things for, whether it's Facebook or things like that, there's very little direction because the way that the system is actually made, it's supposed to be, for the most part, explanatory. But we will do training with the wait staff as well as the managers. And with the marketing test, we're hoping to get information fed back to us. And then we'll be working with eSpace to turn more around. And then the other thing that we were thinking about doing as far as educating, because when somebody actually picks these up for the first time, they're not going to know there's a server alert system, and then the colors may be changing to amber, and they don't know what's going on. They may be running out of the restaurant. So one of the things that we were thinking about is actually having some sort of either card or a bottle of water or something that the diners could read and then possibly take home with them that would have some of the Olitus branding on it.
Does it look like I'm in a spotlight? A couple more questions we have time for. Yes, Talina.
What kind of battery powers it, and how often do you foresee that needing to be replaced?
What kind of battery powers it, and how often do you foresee that needing to be replaced?
Great question. And so right now, just to make the prototypes as inexpensively as possible, there's a little CR3220, I think that's the battery that's available now from Target or anywhere. Ultimately, just like the tea light candles that you see, typically those are all pulled off of the table at the end of the night and they go into a charging station. So these will eventually have rechargeability added into them.
One more question? Yes.
So you said that the cost of production right now is $375 a shaker. So roughly that puts it at $750 per table, $15 in retail. So this room would be a couple $100 maybe. So the challenge is what happens when somebody does walk away with it, and then the retail establishment is now out a couple $100 a month. How do you deal with the problems there when you sell into a potential buyer?
So with your cost of goods, it puts it at a fairly decent price point. And so if there were several in this room, it would be a couple $100. What do you do about people walking off with it, and how do you manage the costs?
So back to my, when I got the estimates back from our design company about the 375 and then seeing other electronics, I really don't think that the cost of these is going to be 375. They're going to be much lower. With regard to theft, so one thing that we're thinking about doing is we're going to probably be working with the restaurant to basically offer some of these for sale, like on the way out. So the people that really want them, they like them, they want to take them home with them, they'll have the option to purchase them.
Is there one thing that you haven't said that you'd like to say before you're done?
I just moved here in October, and I have to say this has been the absolute most amazing experience. I came up with the idea in Minneapolis, and going out trying to find support and help was next to impossible. Going to events like this was unheard of. There was a lack of... Getting a bunch of inventors in the room in Minneapolis was very much, it was backbiting. In fact, there was one time, there was this big argument going back and forth about my little iiShakers, and I'm just standing back, just kind of witnessing it. And so when I came here, it's incredible. And I really thank everyone in Bend, and especially Edco and eSpace for all the help that they've been giving me up to this point.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.